Why is it that going out on dates, you don't just increase the number of dates and, law of, if you're looking for something in a store, if you look through enough racks for an album that you're looking for, eventually you'll find the album you're looking for. The reason that works in other scenarios is because you know exactly what you're looking for. What I find with a lot of people in dating is that if you were to ask them exactly what they're looking for, they would say something and feel like it was specific, like, I'm looking for a great guy. Awesome. That's a good start. Now, what is a great guy to you? How does it look like? It's kind of like walking into a record store and saying, I'm looking for a great album. There are a million great albums, but what is it that you want from the album? What experience do you want to have? What feelings do you want to have? What are you using it for? Answers to these more probing questions get more specific. And if you were to walk into that record store, and the more you answer these questions, the more the clerk at the record store could help you. Similarly, if you go on date after date after date without ever answering these questions for yourself, you're like, well, what ends up happening is somebody says, hey, try this album, and you listen to it, and like, wow, my friend said it was a great album, so you listen to it and listen to it and listen to it to see if you're going to like that album. Now, if you have a clear idea, you know what, I don't like reggae, and you know that very well. If they recommend an album, you're like, no thanks, reggae is not for me, jazz is not for me, hard rock is not for me, whatever it is, easy listening's not for me. And so you're able to narrow things down a little bit better. On the flip side, if you know a little bit more about what you're looking for. I'm looking for an album that makes me feel good. Looking for an album I can dance to, not just any dancing, ballroom dancing. The more specific you get, the more you and anybody helping you knows exactly what you're looking for and is able to go, that's it, when they see it. So if you're finding that you're going out on a lot of dates, but you're not finding someone, the specificity is what's missing. Because what happens is when people start going out on dates, they start saying, maybe I'm being too picky. I hear that a lot. Maybe I'm being too picky. Maybe I'm not being realistic. Maybe. And what I find is that when I start working with people, all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's okay for me to have these criteria. I'm not being too picky. I'm being specific. But I've got to be really clear on what I'm specific about, as opposed to just thinking I'm being too picky because I'm not finding the right person. It's so funny. Most people that say that they're being too picky, they're not being picky enough.